Hey everybody, welcome to Gimme a Song. I am your host, Jeff Phipps. I bring my friends on to give me a song, and then we talk about the songs. So today I have...
This is Sean O'Brien.
Hello, Sean.
And now, a word from today's sponsors.
So since 1945, U-Haul has been your do-it-yourself mover source. Now in 2025, 80 years later, we're introducing U-Haul Dating. That's right, you can find your next romantic partner and book one of our orange trucks to help you move right in. And when that doesn't work out, again, we have various size self-storage units available to hold your stuff while you swipe on our app looking for that next spark. U-Haul, the number one name in do-it-yourself moving and storage, soon to be your number one name in dating. U-Haul Dating, your one-stop shop for love and relocation.
Nice. Man, I like it.
Yeah.
That's a strong read right there, man.
Yeah.
That might, maybe a little, two men in a truck. They might switch things up, though, as competition.
Two men in a truck and
two men,
and possibly
a woman,
and maybe a woman.
Maybe a vehicle that moves furniture.
Yeah, maybe.
To compete against that.
No, absolutely.
Is what I'm saying.
I mean, God, if I know that I could date somebody and then just move it right in.
Yeah, man. No, I like it. But you're bringing heat there.
Yeah.
And that two men in a truck, they might counter.
Yeah.
So,
you ever heard of what do they call it? Hobosexual? You ever heard that phrase?
Hobosexual?
A hobosexual. Have you ever heard that phrase before?
Damn, man.
So it's like somebody looking to date in terms of like not being a hobo anymore. So like maybe living with their parents, maybe living with like a roommate, and then they latch onto you. Yeah.
Interesting. So like if you live on your own, like a studio apartment, and you move back with your parents?
No, like you're the person, like you're the person at your parents looking to find that someone who has like a 2-bedroom house.
Oh,
you're the hobo.
Yeah. So to get out of your parents, right?
Yeah. To find that situation where you just move right in.
I like that, man. I sort of did that once. Kinda. With the girl. Like I had this real lousy apartment.
Yeah.
And I started dating this girl. This was a long time ago.
Yeah.
And she was a little older, and she had like money and a nice house.
Yeah.
And she was awesome. But I wasn't the craziest about her, but I was like, boy, I got a pretty nice setup here. I go, if I just pretend to be your boyfriend.
Yeah. How long did you go? How did it go?
Let's see. It was like a year and a half, maybe.
That's a good run on somebody that you're just kind of like, yeah, I could end this tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like a huge love loss, but I also was like doing comedy and poor because you just basically go into debt if you're going to start this thing.
Yeah.
And stay like which I did. I went into massive credit card debt.
To be a comic?
To start, man.
Really? Well,
like
what were you doing?
A breathtaking amount of money.
How did you? Okay, so let's start there. So tell us what you do first off. Let's start there, and then we'll get into
I do stand up here in St. Louis. Well, where pretty much anywhere that somebody will bring me or I'm in. And then I do bartend at the St. Louis Funny Bone in Westport.
And then you also have a successful podcast.
Yeah. Even I just got our shirt today, man. We got our own merch.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's called The Consumers, and it's on Nate Bargatze's platform, which is really nice.
Podcasts.
Yeah, it's on his YouTube page, and it's with Greg Warren and Tim Convey, two other locals. Like Greg's on his own right, and Tim. Tim was like, it's funny, we're doing a music thing. Tim was a huge music guy.
Yeah.
Tim Convey, he was in Ludo,
right?
And Greg's been a headliner for years,
decades, like over a decade.
Easily, yeah. Probably 15 years. So Greg works pretty clean. Nate was kind of looking for clean entertainment. Yeah. And then Greg and Tim and I talked, and we're like, hey, let's pitch this idea, this podcast where we just talk about brand. We take a brand every week.
What a great idea.
Yeah,
I follow the podcast. I like watching it. And like these companies are just sending you things.
It's hilarious, man.
That's awesome. Like what a great idea, like.
Yeah, it's pretty,
It's like the video game people who do the video game, like I review video games. It's like, well, what happens? Like you do it enough times and then they start sending you video games,
Right.
So,
no, it's crazy, man. I literally just, I have like a, refrigerator size, it's a little big, but like a dishwasher size box of stuff.
Swag.
Of just, it's just hilarious. I never in my lifetime that I think I'd own an Uncrustables ball washer for golf balls or something. It was like something that you attach to a golf bag.
Right.
What's funny about that stuff is I don't think you can just buy it online. That's why I get a kick out of it.
So
that's why it's kind of. It's kind of cool. I don't think
I work for. I don't talk much about what I do. Used to be a teacher, and I work for one of the major software companies on the planet who makes a video game console. So that narrows it down to 2 people, and I'll let people guess on which one it is. But the one in Redmond, Washington, okay, just to kind of like really narrow it down. The one owned by Bill Gates,
right?
And they have swag. So it's not like it's not things that you can conventionally get from a store. It's like, oh, here's this Xbox Polo that no one else has, or when they completed an Xbox, they gave like these custom colored shelled Xboxes to like the first people, and it was like signed by like Bill Gates.
Nice.
So those are the kind of things you get from the sales reps. They somebody's always selling swag. That's like companies sell swag.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, oh, we'll put your logo on it for and give you 2,500 of them for X amount of dollars. And then you end up with it in your house, and you're like, "How did I get a Uncrustables ball washer?"
Yeah, it was a lot. Man, Uncrustables. I didn't know that. I was late to the party. That's a huge thing for smokers.
Apparently, it's like here, just go away. We still have some in the freezer. Our kids are grown and they've moved out. Yeah, they're over the age of 18, and we still have Crustables in the freezer. Like they just didn't get them in time.
Yeah, man.
They're going to be there for the next 20 years. Like whenever we sell the house. They're getting those. Like I'm going to leave.
Right. Them. Yeah. Well, yeah, and that's the beauty. There's so much garbage in the things. I mean, no offense to preservatives, but that's just what it is.
It's 100% preservatives.
So you probably can just keep it for 20 years. But
it'll be fresh forever.
It was like, that and like a Jif hoodie.
Yeah.
It's just hilarious, And I'm like, and then we like had somebody on from the Cheesecake Factory a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
We haven't aired. And then she brought all this stuff, like
that's
a
awesome.
Cheesecake Factory tote. And it just, I don't know. It's just weird where life goes if like 4 years ago somebody
somebody told you you'd be doing
getting
this.
Sent
I
mail.
do have to ask this question. I ask this question of every one of the guests that come on. Before we start with the thing, what is your biggest accomplishment in so you're an entertainer now, you're a podcaster, you're a comedian, what would you say your biggest accomplishment has been?
So, I mean, it's a good question because it's like it's really hard to just nail down one thing. I mean, I guess I would say the consumer thing is pretty cool because that awesome. Had to go through. Nate had to watch at least a reel or two. Of the show to make sure that like okay, this is gonna work for me. And to be honest, I didn't know. I was like, maybe he'll do this with me. I don't know. I just sometimes I have self-esteem issues, so I'm always thinking the worst. I was like.
Is it actually going to happen kind of thing? Like
sometimes I get a little just too just down where I'll be like, oh, this is a fun like idea, but I was like, there's no way this is, or it's not going to be with me. There's going to be somebody else who will come in. I just have, which I'm getting better about. I'm getting better about being so sour.
No, I mean obviously, so you're selling yourself short.
I do, but I'm trying to stop that.
Okay, Nikki Glaser takes you on the road.
There's another one. I mean,
Greg Warren takes you on the road. So it's not like these are insignificant people taking you on the road.
Not at all.
Like these are headliners. These are people working theaters. These are
Yeah.
So like for them to trust you to warm up their crowds, like you
that's
should
huge,
give yourself
man.
some credit.
And I know, and I definitely do. I mean, especially like Nikki. Well, Nate, you could say is probably arguably one of the biggest comedians in the world right now.
Top
he's selling out.
He's got to be like maybe
sales. Of
he's got to be. He's number one right now. Like I think that would be pretty inarguable.
Yeah, I mean, I would.
Maybe Chappelle. Like you're really talking like Chappelle.
I'd say Maniscalco. Up there, Gaffigan,
right? Yeah.
But I guess if you just look at like who sold the most tickets in 2024, I
Kevin
think Hart, I'm sure, is up there. But like Nate's doing like there's a couple cities he's doing
arenas.
3 shows in the same city in an arena. Which
in an arena is like 20, 15 to 20,000.
For a comedy show, my fault, 15 to 20,000 times 3 shows is just bananas. Like,
right. Even if you're getting $1, which he's not.
I know.
And he's selling merch.
I know. But that's good for him. I mean, that's what we would all do if we could get there. So.
I don't know how big of a Simpson fan you are, but Krusty was like, merch, that's the sweetest plum. He was always excited about the merchant. That's why, he always sell the merch like that. He's putting his name on everything. It's
man.
Kiss does the same thing,
People love it. I was telling you before we started, I have this silly salmon shirt that I do in a bit.
Yeah.
And I've been selling it for like 8 years now. It's like it's just hard because people buy the thing.
Right.
Part of me is just like, oh, they're not gonna.
Right.
like this thing. And I'm like, and then you end up, you go on the road and you sell, I don't know, sometimes I could sell 50 shirts, which in my world is a crazy amount.
Yeah, well,
for a weekend.
it could be like even better than what you're getting paid for doing the show.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. At feature pay, I mean, it is what it is, and I get why it is that way. Yeah. But I mean, you're not getting rich featuring pay.
No.
But then again, I mean, as I said, but then the people I go with, I mean, Nikki is insanely generous. Greg's insanely generous.
Yeah.
Plus, you're selling shirts, and that's what I was saying to you before we started. I was like, I'm kind of starting, if I just keep these weeks consistent, then I'm actually starting to be like, oh man, might be able to pay my bills doing this thing. Maybe that was my rule. My rule is like, metaphor, you have to pay your electric bill in order to say you're a comedian, which I know is a little nonsense. Obviously, you can be a comedian, not. Right. But I'm just saying, like,
I just think it's getting money. If you've been paid, I think that's the bar for me personally, because so many guys don't get paid. Maybe you got to put on a show. Like I don't get paid for. I don't. We were talking about this too. It's like I'm not at the clubs. I'm not physically there. I'm not. I'm not getting booked. But like I put on a show right here in Margaritas in Belleville. Yeah. And it's like we did really well on Valentine's Day. We sold out the room. I made some money, and so it's like, I get money from this. Podcasting's a hobby. There's no reason, man. No, I mean, well, clearly U-Haul dating is taking care of us.
Those things. I mean, you might not even have. You could probably never do stand up again, and you're going to get so rich off that read.
Right.
I mean, they're probably already what is it, $100,000 to read right now?
Something like that.
I shouldn't tell numbers.
Yeah.
That was classless of me, but
it's fine.
You might just do this.
Yeah, do the reads. Yeah,
be like a Rogan Part 2. Isn't that what he does?
Yes.
I mean, he doesn't. Well, I guess he does comedy at his club. I guess, but it's like.
I mean, he did film the special. He had a Netflix special. I don't know if you watched it or not. Yeah,
right. It's just like that guy's name's so synonymous with podcasting.
No, absolutely.
You're like, how much like.
Yeah, the 300 million just from Spotify, and then you're doing Alpha Brain or whatever. Whatever snake oil you're selling this week.
Yeah. Supplements or whatever. I don't know, man.
So yeah,
are you a supplement guy?
No. Yeah. No, I did take. I was working out during the pandemic, and I wish I'd get back to it. I need to get back to it. We have a full gym in our house. I mean, we have Olympic weights. I have a Peloton Chinese equivalent. We have a rowing machine. We have jump ropes. I mean, we have medicine balls. We have everything. Like literally, we have various sizes of dumbbells. Like we have a full gym. My fiance was doing CrossFit, and so we were doing CrossFit exercises. And I was doing like creatine and whey protein and stuff like that. And like that,
right, so you were locked in.
Yeah, I was like really locked in. Yeah. And then had some issues with apparently my arteries were clogged. I almost died.
Jeez, man.
So that took me off the shelf for like a year and a half. And now it's just been trying to like remotivate myself to like get up.
Wait,
and
you
I
just
think
get like a physical blood work done?
No, I was having trouble like breathing, and they were like, So I went to ER. And they were like, okay, well, they did EKG, and then they did like a CAT scan.
Yeah.
And then I went and like lived my life. We went down to Memphis, and because we go to Memphis every 4th of July weekend, and they called me, and they're like, we've scheduled you for an angioplasty like Tuesday. We need you to be there. They're like, you have like over 90% blockage in like your main like artery. They're like, you got to come in and get this done like ASAP. They're like, we're not rescheduling. Like, this is the day you're coming in. Or like, you're gonna die.
Oh, dude, that's.
And I almost died that weekend with my fiance. I don't really want to get into the specifics on how that happened, but
I don't blame you, man.
Yeah, she almost killed me. Like,
yeah, dude. I mean, it's like your health is like it's so easy to just be like,
forget it.
I'm fine. I made it to the next day.
Yeah.
I'm still breathing. Yeah, nothing hurts.
Absolutely.
So I just go to bed.
I couldn't breathe. Like I was getting I was sweeping the floors. Like this is trivial, isn't not like nothing serious. Just sweeping, and I was like, we might want to get my affairs in order. Like and like the next day, I like went to ER, and then like I said, within like 3 days, they were like, you're coming in and getting this done. Yeah, and then he's like, the doctor's like, oh, you're gonna feel so much better, like $1 million. And it took like 6 months, and then I felt like so much better. But yeah, I was. Like one of our friends, his wife came home and found him. He had like a massive heart attack.
Yeah,
so
man.
if you're like our age, and most of the demographic is within like our age, you should definitely get this stuff checked out.
Yeah, no, man, I'm all in for my. I got a guy, a doctor. I like him. It's good. He, but even me, man, my weight. It was. I don't know. I was fine. I was just like, I never worked out, but I was never big.
Right.
And it was like 5 years ago. It was like COVID got me fat. I swear.
Yeah.
I swear. I was April of 20. I just been gaining a pound a month for the last 60 months. I'm convinced I'm 60 pounds heavier from April of 20.
Yeah.
And now it's like, all right, man, I can't just.
You got to do
I
something.
can't. Yeah, I got to get more active. And it's just, I'm just such a lazy piece of shit. And it's not that I'm saying that to be like.
Yeah.
Some people really love going to the gym, and that's great.
I like working out. Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't feel great when I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm cranky. I mean, I'll go on a treadmill and I'll do like 4 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Like brisk walk. That's like a pretty. And that for me, that's like hardcore. That's where I am with like. And when I get off, man, I'm just like I'm out, man. But people are like, no, you get the runner's high.
I don't get the runner's high. I hate running, but I do like biking, and I do love lifting weights. Like I love the feeling of like lifting weights. Afterwards and like being like taxed, like you're doing like these deadlifts because like I said, we were doing CrossFit, so we're doing like these push presses and stuff like that. All these fancy maneuvers. Yeah. Like, deadlift to here, squat. Bring it up, bring it back down, all that stuff. That's a great feeling.
Yeah, man. I see. My concern is like I know my dumb. I'd hurt myself. I just feel like
you don't start with like
right.
Yeah.
Or something.
Well, you loosen up. You do the you take it serious, and that's the thing. Like if you haven't done it this entire time, you don't know what you're doing. Then that's how you get hurt.
I mean, I suppose you go look at YouTube videos to some degree.
Yeah. Speaking of YouTube videos. That's a transition in our industry.
Let's switch it.
All right. I asked people to come on, give me a song.
Man.
Here's the offer. I always have to make this offer. I don't know if this gets edited in. I think this gets edited out.
You think so?
Do you want to know the story on how this started or not?
Yeah, man.
Okay, sure. So,
this podcast. This podcast.
Yeah,
I do. I want to know.
Larry Smith, you know him out of Springfield?
Oh, yeah.
Moved to Chicago recently, so he's in Chicago now. Good guy, great guy. Was wearing a Drive-By Trucker shirt. Do you know the Drive-By Truckers?
Yeah, I do.
Okay,
know him by name. I can't necessarily pick out a song, but I know him as a band. Yeah.
So they opened up for Tom Petty here at Riverport, a.k.a. Horizon, a.k.a. Verizon, a.k.a. Hollywood.
Right.
And I wasn't impressed. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Scratch that off the list. I've seen the Drive-By Truckers.
Yeah.
And he's wearing a shirt, and I told him that. It's exactly how I described it. And he's like, oh, no, you don't understand. He's like, you got to hear this song. And then so like we had a Touch Tunes at the bar we were at after a show, and he played a song, and I'm like, oh, well, I wish they would have played that. I'd have been more on board. Yeah. And then I was like, oh, if you got to hear that, then you got to listen to this. And then I sent him an Interpol song, which we'll talk about in a minute, but not this one, but a different one. Yeah. And I was like, well, here's my favorite band. You got to listen to this because Drive-By Truckers is his favorite band. And then I sat on it for like 3 or 4 months, and I was like, I could do this. And I called him, and I'm like, what do you think if I just did a podcast of this? And I'm like, would you be one of the first guests? And he said, yeah. Yeah. So I drove to Springfield. We recorded in his house before I got like this little setup here at Margaritas. Thank you, Margaritas. Yeah. And Margaritas. We did an episode. We did Drive-By Truckers. We did Interpol. So you'd be the second person I've forced to listen to Interpol.
No, I know it, man.
Yeah,
we'll talk about it, man. I'll get into it. It's good, man, because I mean, so that's I was telling you off air, like, I mean, I'm probably a bigger fan of music, just in general, and than I am comedy.
I think once you see it, like that's the thing. Like everybody thinks that like once you're starting to do it, you see the strings. Like you know how it's done, and then it takes away a lot of it.
For sure.
And so you see like, and then you got to really be like, either it's got to be like a great funny story or just such an unexpected punchline to really strike you. Otherwise, it sounds like something you've heard before. Yeah, or especially if people like use structures, like the Mitch Hedberg structure, or the Justin kind structure
template. Yeah,
it's like, oh, here's a normal premise, here's the insane punchline, or you get into these templates, you get into these. I get fascinated by like delivery. That's what I love. I love like seeing different deliveries of people and how they do it and stuff like that. So, I asked you to give me a song. So that's the key requirement. It's a homework podcast, and so you gave me what song?
I gave you the song "Bittersweet Symphony" by the Verve.
Yes, not the Verve pipe.
Not the Verve pipe. That
which
is
it's a common mistake.
It is, and they were around the same time too.
Right.
When the Verve pipe had a big song as well as the Verve.
So now we're playing like 30-second clips of the song so people get an idea. But if not, go check it out. Like if you've never heard the song before, please go listen to it. It's a great song. Bittersweet Symphony is probably one of the biggest songs in '97. Probably one of the biggest songs in history, easily.
I'd say that's fair enough for sure. I mean, for sure, it's. I think it's a top 5 in the '90s.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, what was
easily?
So when I asked people to give me a song, and you gave me a song, I love the note. Like, where did this come from?
So this was actually. I always I feel like some people take a song and it's always like synonymous with something sad.
Yeah.
This is the opposite, man, for me. It was
really?
just pure joy. I was absolute bliss in my life. So this song, I think this album comes out, I think it was like
97.
97, late 97.
Yeah.
And late 97, I was just started my senior year of high school.
Okay.
And that was just one of my favorite years of my life, man. It was my senior year. Like, I got all my buddies that I've been good with now for, going on 4 years. Everyone's driving.
Were you playing sports or anything?
Yeah, I was playing, I played lacrosse.
Oh, okay. Oh, you went to one of those schools.
Yeah, well, don't worry. We were the worst team. Like,
you were still,
like, we were so bad.
Field a lacrosse team.
Yeah. But no, it was comically bad. Like, we were so bad, I was a starter as somebody who'd never played the game. Like, I mean, we won one game, and it was like we won the Super Bowl. It was crazy.
Yeah.
But no, this was just like, this song just, it was a big driving song for me on the radio. I would just hear it, and I mean, it was so different to me, which ironically, they got sued. And
we're going to get into all that, yeah.
But there's just all these really cool memories, man, of I got my license. Now I got my night license. I can drive at night because I'm from New York State. New York State had different rules. Like, I don't know if it's the same here.
No, we live in Illinois. I have an Illinois license. So, no, it was like 16. All guidelines are off in the state of Illinois. Now, it's different now. Like, now you can't have, like, you can't have more than, like, one friend until you're 18. The driver's license is different. So, it's like...
in the car till you're 18? You mean like if you're driving, you can't have more than one friend in the car?
Right, yeah. Or if you have if you have an adult, so like riding around with like a bunch of your friends and like having a drink or two just is not happening.
Not happening, man.
No,
wow.
And then like getting like if you get like certain amount of like speeding tickets or something like that, like they can pull it permanently before you even get like your 18-year-old license and stuff. They're really strict here in the state of Illinois.
Yeah, I could see. I mean, New York was. We didn't have that. We just had to. You couldn't drive after 9 until you were 18, unless you took like a driver's ed thing, which you had to pay for, and it was like an 8-week program, and it was annoying. And I'm like, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And so then you got your night license at 17. So it was just this big thing of like just these memories of just that song was on. It's just a beautiful song to me. It's just such a great song.
Like it's the catchiest beat on the planet, and the lyrics are so great. I mean, and we'll get into it, but let's talk about the beat first. So, like you said, they had been sued. The beat, they always credit the Rolling Stones with the lawsuit. So they got sued,
right?
And what happens is when you make a song, you get what they call it, like you get sales for the song being sold because you recorded it as an artist, and then you get what they call publishing,
right?
So the publishing. You own that as long as you didn't sample something. Well, they sampled something. They sampled Andrew Ullman's version of The Last Time, which was a Rolling Stones song.
Correct.
So because it was a Rolling Stones song, the Alan Klein owned the publishing to the last time. So the Stones didn't even own the publishing.
Correct. That's right.
So their manager did, and he was like, I guess they had worked out an agreement that he was going to sample like what they said 4 bars, which is like 4 notes or whatever. I don't know if I'm wrong about notes. Like, hey, back up off me. Leave me alone. And so they were like, okay, well, we're working out an agreement. You'll get half your publishing. So how much albums you sell on this, or however often the radio plays this, you'll get half of that money. And then it became a hit, and they were like, no, we actually need all of it.
Yeah.
So the Stones, by extension, got money. Andrew Ullman, who'd recompositioned the strings, so the strings part, the dun dun dun, that was him.
Yeah.
Based off the melody off the Stones, got money, and he had to sue to get money from the record label. And then Alan Klein, of course, got all the money. And then people appealed to the Stones. They went to Mick, they went to Mick Jagger, and they went to I can't think of his Richards, Keith Richards.
Keith Richards. Yeah.
The glamour. They built themselves as the Glamour Twins when they wrote music, and they went to them and they said, "Hey, do something." They're like, "Eh."
Yeah.
But they're it's like, well, we could get involved, but then you're hurting our pocketbooks, and it's like the Stones have never been ones to turn down money.
Yeah, no, they got a bunch of it. Well, now wait a minute. Let me get something clear. Did the Verve, Richard Ashcroft
is listed as the writer of the song, wrote the lyrics. Yeah.
Did he get?
He knew what he was doing.
Payment of did he?
Not till 2019.
Not till 19. So they never saw a dime. From that song until 19.
Yeah, till they finally, like, the guy died and they finally turned it over. Here you go.
Yeah.
Now that we've gotten every last drop of money, all the good money we can get out of this, you can have what's left.
Yeah.
The perpetuity money. If you're talking about like making money off of something, it's a logarithmic function. I know you're not a mathematician.
Yeah.
I've got a degree in math, but it's what they call like a logarithmic function because it eventually crashes to zero. It'll never completely touch zero, but it'll get pretty close. A lot of times it does get to zero. Like, you're not making any money off it anymore, but it goes like this. But up here is all that initial good money that you're hitting, and then you're not getting that.
Yeah, it was Cruel Intentions.
Yeah.
They played it, like, near the end of the film, and they played it for a while.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't just, like, 10 seconds of it.
It was a Nike ad.
And
think of the money that, like, they got for the Nike ad. You talked about the live read, like, all kidding aside, people get money for live reads.
Yeah.
U-Haul dating, I'm hoping for a check. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, no,
but
man. We'll get that. It's a slow climb.
But absolutely. But you get those monies, and but for a commercial, licensing and being an actor in a commercial or getting your song license is tens of millions of dollars. Like, it's big money. Like, being like the Jake from State Farm is probably making 3 or 4 mil a year.
Flo or whatever. She used to probably get paid. Yeah,
I'm sure she's still there. So absolutely.
I don't see her ads anymore. It's that other guy with the sweater vest.
And they bring her. Yeah,
but I think it's hilarious. I like that guy. Tells your parents how to behave.
Yeah,
I think that's progressive.
Yeah, that's progressive. Yeah, but they still do the other one though. Like, I saw one the other day. It was like them around a campfire.
Yeah, I mean, man, what a way to go to. Like, if you want to be
I would take a job as a pitchman tomorrow. Like, depending on like, I'm not going to do Apple Brain. Like, let's be honest. I'm not selling snake oil. I'm not doing supplements, all right? Unless it's like, it'd have to be something pretty convincing. But, like, for the most part, like, I would pitch almost anything. I really don't like that, because that money's just too good to pass up.
Oh, for sure, man.
And I don't have like a moral, like, like anti-capitalist idea about like items and devices. It's like, I'll sell your item. It's fine.
Yeah, man. Throw me a check.
Yeah, please do. I'll tell you how great it is.
But back to the Verve. So let me just to clarify this.
Yeah.
He had at one point the chance to make a little bit of money, or he never did.
It was pretty quick on the decision.
It was pretty quick.
It was like 50-50 initially, and then like immediately it was like, no, stop whatever accounting you're doing. We're going to take all of it and just redirect it our way.
Now, so if you bought their record, like when I bought their CD, then how did they get something off?
They would get that off the other songs and everything else, but then I'm sure there's like...
I wonder how they qualify back then when you're buying CDs.
I think it's like single. Like, if you put the single out, like, you didn't get any of the single money.
Gotcha.
The CD money's ours, but the single money
so he at least got some... Yeah.
They got money off of the sales of the CDs. Yeah, and then you get your touring money and stuff like that.
Yeah. But, I mean, that was back in the times where, obviously, CDs were on fire. Late 90s.
I miss that time so much.
It was great, man. I was a big BMG and Columbia House guy?
Yeah.
You ever do that scam?
Yeah.
It's not even really a scam. I mean, there was no scam. It was just...
You just never honored the contract, and they kind of knew that was going to happen.
See, I would. Because,
Really?
So
Well,
here,
thank you.
I was clean on it,
because you were the one. All right, so for people who aren't familiar with this,
Yeah.
let's start there. Columbia Record House, B&G Music, you get like 10 CDs for $1.
So there's two different ways.
Right.
The
But that
BMG was the cheaper one,
Right.
but less selection.
Yes.
Columbia House, a little more money, more
Right.
selection.
Right. But it would be roughly like 10 selections for $1 or $5 or something. But then they'd put you on the hook. Every month they would send you something unless you told them not to.
That's
They
right.
would just, and then that would be like, and those prices were greater than your record store prices.
Yeah,
that's
that
where they
was-
made their money.
That was their move. You just had to know how to play the system on it.
Yeah.
The BMG was all right because it was like, so here's what you do. You get your little catalog. You
Yeah.
get 6 CDs for free.
Right.
Now, what does free mean? Free means you got to pay the shipping.
Right.
For the CD. And the shipping on 6 CDs was like, it wasn't bad. It was like maybe $18.
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, a CD alone is going to be 15
Right.
plus tax.
Yeah.
So I'm coming at then. They put the screws to you, and then you'd have to buy one at like full
Right.
price, which was like $20,
And you
plus
had to,
shipping.
Yeah, and you had to buy like 4 or 5 within a year to
Now with
honor the
BMG,
contract. Okay.
BMG, you just had to buy the one, and
Columbia
then
House
you would
was-
get 3 free.
Yeah.
But here's where people made them. What you'd have to do is you just do it all at once. Get your 6, then 2 weeks later buy 1, then
Yeah.
get your 3, then cancel.
Yeah.
But this is back when you had to like write letters, like
Right,
"Dear
yeah.
BMG,
You had to
please
go,
take me.
like, yeah.
I'm leaving." Your
You had to have a stamp.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was a whole post office. It was all that whole world. But
Yeah.
the Columbia House was tricky because they just gave you 12 out of the gate
Yeah.
for a penny.
Right.
They did that dumb thing where you literally tape a penny
Right.
on the the envelope like inside the mail.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, this is so gimmicky, but all
Yeah.
right, I'll put my penny on. And they send you 12, so you're getting 12 CDs out of the gate, $25.
Yeah.
You're crushing it. But then Columbia House made you buy 6,
And they would
you had
send
buy
them to
6
you,
within.
yeah.
And if you didn't like buy it within a month's
Right.
time, like at least one a month,
And then
the bills start coming in, man.
And then there was the selection of the month, which is nothing you ever wanted. You know?
It wasn't great.
Yeah.
From what I remember, it
Right.
was not.
And
It was
like
nothing
David
great.
Lee Roth greatest hits or something. Just
Yeah.
like something you just nobody wanted.
Yeah,
Nobody
yeah.
wants Just a Gigolo.
But the kids didn't know. At least,
Yeah.
like, all you had to do, though, when they sent you one, you just crossed off your own address. It was on the
Yeah.
cardboard box, and I just returned to sender every time. Never had a problem.
Yeah,
Where other
I
guys
just-
would panic. They'd be like, oh, no,
I
I got
didn't-
all these CDs and bills. My mom's going to kill me.
I just ignored it. Like, okay, this is fine. Thank you for the 12 CDs.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
good.
I went good at I ignored my American Express bill. That one I ignored. That one I just threw out, and I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
out. I have nothing. And I just
Just
ran
come for
away.
me for the money.
And,
Yeah. That's
such a
fine.
horrible
Just-
person. But they never got me. Statute of limitations. I think.
Nice. 7 years and it's off your record. Off
10
your
in
credit.
Missouri.
Oh, really?
Yeah, unless it's changed.
It's 7
It's
in
state to
7 in
state.
Illinois.
Yeah, Illinois 7, New
Yeah.
York's 8, I think, and
Right.
it all varies. But
Yeah.
anyway, sorry, man. I'm
No, you're fine.
wandering
No,
around.
this-
But,
that's what happens on the show is you end up
yeah.
talking about things that
just
like
get excited about BMG.
You
Yeah,
do.
But yeah, no. So, but anyways, yeah. And this song, it just sounded so good. I'm a big synth guy. Now I know this isn't like a synth heavy, but just those like I guess
Strings.
you'd say strings up front.
They actually
Just
recorded with a
so
string.
cool.
You know, they had string performers come in and play the notes.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it wasn't
yeah.
like they just sampled it. It was more like they just interpolated it. Would be a better way of putting it. But that was enough to.
that was enough to yeah. Which boy is that not a gray area too of
It
like
happens all the time. It happened to Blurred Lines, like
yeah, that's right. Marvin Gaye, right?
Yeah, Marvin Gaye's estate sued him.
Yeah,
and won big time. Ice Ice Baby famously.
Oh, yeah.
And
God,
he tried to argue that it wasn't.
Hilarious.
He's like, no, it's done, and it's like, yeah, you just doubled it.
Exactly. Yeah,
you sampled it twice. Like nobody's stupid.
That was yeah. What he's talking about, man. It's out there on YouTube. Just YouTube Vanilla Ice.
Yeah.
Defending Ice Ice Baby.
Yes.
And he literally, with all his like just
Yeah.
arrogance and
Yeah.
cockiness, he's like, no, mine goes ding 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 ding. And then
Yeah.
he goes, Queens goes ding 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 ding. It's like, yeah, it's the same thing.
Right,
You
yeah.
just
Yeah.
made the point, man.
Yeah.
I can't prove hearing. Like, how do you not?
It's like a missable.
So
in
did
the
he
court
get
of law.
busted? Vanilla Ice on that?
See,
with
that
Queens?
was it was De La Soul, and I don't know what song it is, but it was a song by the Turtles they sampled for 3 Feet High and Rising. I know a lot about samples. I love rap music, and so I love samples too, and love to know where they come from. They sampled something on 3 Feet High and Rising by the Turtles, and there was no laws on sampling whatsoever. And he took him to court, and he's like, "Look, I don't want this on. I don't want your music, using mine."
Yeah.
And they sided with him, and then that kind of then the record industry had to adapt. Like, okay, well, how does this work now? So it's like, okay, now it's by measure of song and melody, and did you really mean to take it? Did you call us beforehand? And you work out a deal.
All right.
So certain songs, it's you don't get any of your publishing. You shouldn't release it as a single. And this was one of those where they'd worked out a deal. It's we'll do it for half.
Right.
And this song is too big not to release as a single. My beef with this sample in particular isn't a beef towards the Verve. It's that nobody knew this version of the Stones song beforehand.
Right, yeah.
And then people were like, oh, okay, it sounded fresh.
Yeah.
And then you hear, and I made a point of listening to the original version this morning. It's not, you can tell where they got it from.
100%.
But it wasn't one of those things where it was oh, this doesn't make any, you adapted it and modified it to a point where it's original.
Yeah, I agree.
And the lyrics.
That's where I was at. To me, it felt, I don't know. It felt more influenced.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And that's what he said. He's like, I want it. And the quote on the Wikipedia page, which is where I got a lot of this information from. So if I'm wrong, sue me. That's my defense on this. I'm on Wikipedia.
And sue your
sue
your U-Haul people, man. They got the money.
Get the money. But it's he did write the lyrics are original. The melody is okay, you did get the melody from here, but you modified it enough, and that's what he wanted to do. He's he heard this and he wanted to modify it. Probably heard it as a kid. It stuck with him.
Yeah.
How can I make this different? And I think he did make it different. And it wasn't the Godzilla song with Puff Daddy just literally rhyming over Zeppelin.
That
they made fun of on Saturday Night Live, where he's just ad-libbing. It wasn't like that, which came out in 96, 97. But it's just, it was different enough. And for you guys to do this, this manager who had all the rights and was just no, I'm going to get
just
mine.
Just greed, man,
And they said even the guy who had created the Andrew Ullman was well, this isn't what we had agreed to on what you did with it. But it's
the revenue they lost.
Tens of millions of dollars.
Tens of millions, man.
Absolutely.
Tens of millions. Well, too, also, that guy... That guy, Richard Ashcroft, as far as I know, man, I don't know. I just am a fan of music. I don't know what makes something good or not good. I like what I like, but...
No, absolutely.
Well, I guess let me clarify. And what I'd say, that, to me, this whole album was amazing.
Yeah.
It wasn't just... That was not a one-hit wonder. This album, top to bottom, is amazing. The Lucky Man was the second single on that.
Yeah.
And that had some legs.
See, I didn't really. If I did, it never stuck with me. Bittersweet Symphony really overclouded the rest.
For sure,
so
it did. But
in
musically,
hindsight, they're a one-hit wonder. Maybe not. That's how it works. Funky Cole Medina came out around the same time as Wild Thing, but nobody remembers that.
Yeah, I wouldn't call these guys were not a one-hit wonder though. Okay. I wouldn't classify them as a one-hit wonder. A true one-hit wonder to me is Flock of Seagulls, I Ran. Maybe Space Age Love Song. I think that was their other single.
Yeah.
Or 80s for sure in my memory.
A lot of
the one-hit wonders.
80s, yeah.
90s, Sex and Candy, maybe Marcy's Playground.
Yeah, no,
did they have anything else?
No.
Good song. But the Verve had albums before this.
Yeah, they had an album or two.
I think this is Ashcroft though. I think he's kind of a nut. Which, if you ever watch the video, it's I feel like that's...
I told you to watch the video.
Yeah.
The video's
I've seen it a million times.
Yeah,
I'm responsible for a million views of it on YouTube.
It's just...
I've watched a million.
But so describe the video. It's just him just down the street, just knocking people over. I'm not bending. I'm not,
Yeah, he's just in what appears to be some major metropolitan city.
Yeah, well, he's in London.
Is he in London? Okay.
Yeah, they've got where the street is.
Makes sense. Yeah,
you could go there.
A lot of crowd, just people everywhere, and he just kind of comes down. He's coming out from an alley.
Yeah,
faces the camera.
Yep.
And just walks dead straight in the sidewalk, and whoever is in his way, he doesn't care.
Right.
So he will bump you.
Yeah.
And he just keeps going. He knocks over he bumped a lady, I think pushing a baby in a stroller.
Mm-hmm.
And then some guy he bumped, and then he turned around. He's like, "Hey, you want some?" And but he just kept.
Yeah,
Just kept going,
didn't
man.
break
And he
stride
just
the
didn't
entire
break
time.
Yeah.
One take. I don't know if they did it in one take, but man, it looks like it.
It looks like it was.
Yeah, it's a great video.
And it looked pretty authentic to me. Like, I don't know how much of that was acting. I guess it was. Like,
I'm
talking
about
about
all acting. But that's what makes it great, is that it was all acting.
Oh,
There's
you
no
think
way
all those bumps and stuff was
absolutely.
all acting?
Yeah, he's going to come in, he's going to knock you, play it however you want, that's what makes it great. I just don't think let's go take a camera and let's go walk down the street. I don't think that would have happened. Somebody would have tackled the cameraman or him.
Yeah, you're probably right on that.
Especially in London. Somebody would have Yeah,
that's true. I don't know. I think I saw something on Reddit. That's the problem with
Reddit.
Well, not just Reddit, just that's what we do. This podcast we do. We do research on these companies.
Yeah.
And so I was trying to figure out how many milligrams of caffeine are in a grande Starbucks black coffee.
550?
I don't know, because I got 3 different answers.
What was the high and what was the low?
The high was ridiculous. The high was 300.
Okay.
And I'm like,
what was the low?
And then the low was 60. And I'm like,
then it's probably
80
250.
is like a standard.
Yeah, but it's probably 250 then. Remember those, speaking of the caffeine, the ones that Panera, a.k.a. Breadco, were selling?
Oh, yeah.
And they killed somebody. They killed 2 people.
Yeah.
The loaded
lemonade or something?
Yeah, loaded lemonade.
Yeah,
so,
man.
No, 300 doesn't seem outrageous. On a grande? No,
it probably, but it's more the point that
you couldn't
I saw what I thought were
down.
3 different, semi-credible, the credible
articles. Did you
articles.
go to their website and look?
That would probably make a lot of sense if I did that. I
do you want me to start doing the research for you guys? Because I guarantee you, I would nail it.
Yeah, I mean, we make it real clear that we're good for about 30% of what we're saying to be accurate.
Hey,
so
that's fine.
As long as you say it out of the gate, hey, we don't.
Yeah, we're not. Yeah.
We prep the night before. There's not a lot of homework.
Yeah,
I mean, because that's the thing. It's it's that thing. We're trying to take make it funny.
Right.
But also, it's if you get too much into a deep dive of a history or something,
then you're
just all right, dude. You're okay, I got it. Oreo started in 1815, and now they're
U-Haul started in 1945, which I would have never guessed. 80 years of U-Haul. That's a long time.
Oh yeah,
45. Yeah,
nice, man. Yeah, U-Haul. It's pretty strong.
When you guys are doing the U-Haul episode, let me know.
That would be a good one. But another thing I want to talk about sampling.
Yeah.
Music or not sampling, but I'm gonna hope that there was, in for the Verve, that it was just parallel thought, or he heard the song and he's like, okay, I'm gonna put my own spin on it. Because why?
No, he literally said he had it. He chose this. This was his
thing. Yeah.
It wasn't they didn't sample by accident. He was reconstructing.
He was. All right. But but in his mind, he thought that would be fair game.
He thought it'd be fair game.
Gotcha.
And it just and he didn't realize he was dealing with the Rolling Stones.
Yeah, biggest band in the world. But there are so many if you go down a rabbit hole of songs that sound there's
absolutely.
a band called The Killing Joke. You familiar with them?
No.
They were late 80s, I believe.
Yeah.
And of course, it sucks. I don't know the name of the song, but they have a song that the intro is "Come As You Are" by Nirvana.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's baffling. You listen to it, you'd be like, "Oh, that's Come As You Are" intro."
Right.
What's going on here?
Yeah.
And Killer Joke had it first.
Yeah.
And I just never looked into it. I'm like, there is no way they didn't get paid something.
Right.
But even Coldplay, I like Coldplay.
Yeah.
I catch a lot of heat for it. But I like them. Yeah, because now they're all corporate and they are just ultra poppy. And their first 2-3 albums I had stood some ground, man.
Everything after
Clocks
Yellow
is a cool song.
Yeah.
Yellow first album. I mean, I'm just into that. But they got sued by Joe Satriani. Is that how you say his name?
Yeah.
The
guitar
player. Viva La Vida.
Yeah, which
there
is a
was
great
a sample,
song. Yeah.
And I believe that was quickly settled out of court.
Oh, I'm sure.
So you've got Coldplay.
Yeah, that's
Coldplay's
what happens a lot of
probably,
That's what happens a lot of times now. It's well, okay,
Yeah,
let's give you a number. Come with me a number, and I'll be most likely.
But here's my question, and I'll never know. Is is that Coldplay, for just an example? Is that them lifting that, being like, you know what, or is that just parallel thought that just happened to cross two
I think
similar?
It just depends.
I just don't know. Are people lifting music from other musicians?
I don't think it depends on the band. There's famously the beginning of Stairway to Heaven.
Taurus.
Yeah. And Taurus opened up for Zeppelin for years. and was playing,
okay.
and so they were like, okay, well, we know where you got, like, it was like a wink and a nod, because they knew, like, we've been opening for you, and now we have Stairway.
I didn't know that.
So
Taurus opened for Zeppelin.
Yeah,
because that whatever it's like Spirit or something it's called.
Right.
Very, very Stairway to Heaven-y.
Correct. And it was before Stairway by like a few years. It wasn't close. It wasn't like one after the other. It's not like Armageddon and the other asteroid movie that came out at the same time, where it's like you were making them at the same time, and they just happened to come out. Or Ants and what was it? Bug's Life.
Oh, Bug's Life. Yeah.
You know, like a lot of parallel thought.
Yeah.
These were like, here's our song.
Yeah.
We opened for you. Here's Stairway to Heaven, and there's like a sizable gap where, oh, you probably lifted this from us.
Yeah.
You know, but they didn't. I don't know. Like, they didn't sue them. They said thank you, and that was that. But that's not how they handled it here. Do you have a particular line in here that, like, just you like or sticks with you?
Yeah. Let's see.
Because it's funny that you, like, the way I took this, like, when people send me songs, I have to do, like, you have to figure out why I sent you a song, and then I got to figure out why you sent me a song. And so I didn't know if it was like, life sucked. If you were going to come in here with, like, I hate life, and this is the one, like, this is the song that I relate to the most.
No, and I'll say something, and this is a real, like, weak take. I have never been a big lyric guy. I never have been, like, really, like...
I love lyrics.
I know. A lot of people do. My brother is, like... Not, like, just
I love
crazy
beats.
in
when
the
it comes to
lyrics,
hip-hop,
man.
I love beats and then lyrics. Like, a great beat can save a bad song in terms of hip-hop.
Yeah.
But, like, bad lyrics will crush anything. Like, just absolutely take you out of, like, songs completely.
Yeah, no, there are definitely.
But these are great lyrics, though, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, I always thought, I always like the, you know, where he says, I need to hear some sounds that recognize the pain in me.
Yeah.
I let the melody shine, let it cleanse my mind. I feel free now. So, it's funny because I could sing this whole song by heart.
Right.
But I've never really examined, like,
okay,
what is his what is his message here? I mean, I don't know.
Well, the message
it kind of sounds like just handling adversity to me.
Yeah. It's just like, it's a bittersweet symphony. Like, that's what we go through. Like, some of the things that stuck with me, that have always stuck with me. I'm here in my mold, but I'm a million different people from one day to the next.
That's the line. Yeah, but a million different people from one day to the next.
Change, but I still can't change my mold. Are you really a million different people then, or you're just the same person? Like,
yeah.
I used to think you are, but. I've said this on stage, but I've told other people in advice. It's like, I've been dating the same girl for years. She just has a different name from time to time.
Yeah. Right.
Like, you look for the same traits in people, whether you believe it or not,
Yeah.
And to be honest, my fiance is a lot different than the girls I dated before, and that's why it's worked well, because I finally found somebody, like, that fills in the gaps that I don't have, and I think we make each other better.
Oh,
just
my girlfriend and I have so
ones,
little in common.
But yeah,
and I thought this would not work because of we've from music to movies to just, like, I like doing outdoor stuff. She's,
Has she adopted the Buffalo Bills as her favorite team?
I did. No, she's all in.
Okay.
Yeah, I brainwashed her.
Because you're famously
I brainwashed her. Like, she used to be like, oh, not the damn game. It was that, and then just slowly I've been grinding it out, man.
Yeah. I'm sorry for your loss.
I'm just David Koresh in her mind, just getting her to believe. Now she's all in.
This could be
she's
our
all
year.
in, man.
I'm gonna. I own the rights to this. I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this movie idea that I've had for years.
Nice.
So I own this. If I ever see anything remotely like this, I'm going to sue.
Put it on the books.
It's on the book. Today's the day. I want to make a movie about time travel. Okay.
Sure.
And the premise is that Jim Kelly is the president of the United States, and he has started World War III. Okay.
All right, I'm following you.
And so the whole time travel premise is that they keep sending back one guy to mess up every single. So they won. Here's the alternate universe.
Okay.
Jim Kelly won 4 straight Super Bowls, went on to be a senator, and then became the president, and then starts World War III. Okay.
Okay.
So then the people who are trying to stop all this keep sending one guy back to mess up every Super Bowl win and turn them into losses.
Oh, interesting.
So every time, so it's a comedy, but every time he goes back, he's got to mess it up. And it's like, well, he messes up the first one, the kick goes wide right.
Right.
But they still won the next 3. He still starts World War III. You got to go back.
Yeah, I see what you're saying,
and you got to go back, and like the whole time.
And there's one villain that keeps screwing it up.
Absolutely. Jim Kelly figures it out. future Jim Kelly starts realizing what's going on.
Oh, I got you. Yeah. I'm putting this together.
Yeah.
I like it, man. I'll tell you what. I don't even just if they would just win the one. Just
the one.
let's go. Just please turn back. It's still painful. Yeah, I still like.
I hear you.
Think
I'm a
about
Lions
that damn
fan,
game.
so I feel your pain.
Brutal,
not
man.
as bad as you,
and man,
but yeah.
that's my sleeper team.
Yeah.
I was all in on
Yeah,
them.
no,
If the Bills,
absolutely.
like a Bills Lions Super Bowl would
That
have been
would've
amazing. The country would have loved it.
No one would have been mad.
Nobody would have been mad.
Who wins?
I mean, really, the only downer is one of them would have to lose,
Right.
Because
But
everyone
who-
would be on their side.
But everybody would be fine with it.
Yeah, man.
But to have the Eagles and the Chiefs again, oh man, it's the worst.
Just I can't take it, man. I have not enjoyed a Super Bowl. Like just neutrally, like in the last 5 years, because it's
You
just
can't,
first
no.
it's the Patriots have their
Yeah.
dynasty, then you get the Chiefs coming in,
Right.
and it's
Yeah. No, as an AFC
Just a
East fan,
bruiser, man.
you've just had to have been going through it. So I ask people to give me a song. I give them a song,
Yeah.
and then I have to give them a song. So
right.
I've got to like be part of the thing. Just to talk to you about your song would be kind of boring for me. No offense.
no, I agree. It
so I do ask people to give me a song. So what was the song that I gave you?
it was Interpol.
Yes.
I was playing it on the way here.
Yeah. Flip it over.
Where are we here?
Here it is.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
We got it. Yeah, everything is wrong. I just heard it. Interpol's, let me tell you, jump in real quick, though.
Yeah.
This band, so it's fun. I'm a huge U2 guy.
Yes.
Love U2.
Yes.
They opened for U2 in St.
Yes,
Louis.
I know.
In
It was the one time
2010, July?
Yeah, it's the
And
one show
Princeton?
I've missed here in St. Louis.
Oh,
from
is that
Interpol.
right?
I've been to all the rest. That and they were at the Rocket Bar, which was famously recorded and on YouTube, which is a this great show. They killed it. And there's
Yeah.
like 20 people in a room watching Interpol. Like these guys like just sweating their ass off in suits. You know, in like this little stage,
Yeah, that's
all
right. They have,
cramped
like-
up, and
yeah,
it's just
yeah.
such a great visual. And it's in black. The video's in black and white too. It's like perfect. But
Dude, they killed. I mean, they
it was at
opened
Busch
up-
Stadium.
Yeah,
but
Busch Stadium. But like, I remember, I was familiar with a couple of the hits.
Yeah.
Success was that?
Yeah,
one?
that
And,
was on there. Yeah.
Slow Hands.
Yeah.
Right. And they opened up. Ah, damn it! I'm so bad with the names. Goodbye. I'm not a good guy.
That's Success.
That's Success. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. All right. I did
That's
it
what
right.
they-
I
that
was like,
was-
that is a catchy tune right there. Like,
Yeah.
I never heard that before.
Right.
And I heard them play that live.
Yeah.
And they probably banged out like, I don't know, 10 to 12 songs on that.
Yeah, it was
I'd
like
say was it
9 or something like that.
Something like that. But then I was starting to kind of go down a rabbit hole with these guys, and yeah, they've been around, man.
Yeah.
You know, they got stuff.
Yes.
Like it's not just like
This is so. I have to defend myself here.
Yeah, let's talk about this song. Everything is
we
wrong.
will, but
Yeah.
so just to give you an idea, like I would literally use the word super fan to describe my love of Interpol.
Okay, so you're all in.
This is it. Like
Yeah.
this is the band. I don't want to like if I was honest about this show, every other episode would be me sending people Interpol songs. Like you're the second person,
Yeah.
and then Scott and I talked about that concert because that's who you went with,
Yeah.
and he was giving me a hard time about it because he knows this is my favorite because I've mentioned it a few times,
Yeah.
enough where he was like, okay, like let's poke with Jeff, you know, and,
Yeah,
and make
yeah.
fun of Interpol, and then I was just like, all right, Scott, we're not friends anymore. But anyway, so this is, but I don't want to just send people Interpol songs every single week and be like, you know, this is my favorite band, I love this song. But when I think of Bittersweet Symphony, like this is just like a companion piece to that song, like perfectly.
Right,
Like
okay.
it just feels like, for me personally, it was like, whenever somebody sends me a song, I listen to it. And in your case, I was like, okay, Bittersweet Symphony, I already know the song. So it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
now I've got
yeah.
to be like, okay, what do I think or feel about it? And I try to make connections or something like that. Give you an example. Somebody this week was like, well, what would you do for, if somebody gave you Wannabe by the Spice Girls? Like, what would you give them?
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, Party All the Time by Eddie Murphy.
Nice. Yeah.
And he was
yeah.
like, well, what's the connection there? And I'm like, well, Mel B dated Eddie Murphy.
Oh yeah, all right.
So that would be like the simplest connection. And then I
Yeah,
can talk
yeah.
about Eddie Murphy, the singer.
right, man.
So that was kind of my thought process. So if somebody please give me Wannabe by the Spice Girls, because I could talk both of those All that, all day.
I didn't mind Wannabe by the Spice Girls.
I did not mind the Spice Girls.
I'm not like, see, that's the thing with me. I'm like, I have such range with like,
yeah.
I mean, it's really, there's not really a genre I don't
country.
Like I can get behind
country. I'm out.
Most country, I'm out. Yeah. I mean, there's a little, but I also probably just never really gave it a fair shake.
No, I had to listen to it growing up.
Oh, all right. So it was like inundated in your life.
Yeah. Hearing it at 4:00 in the morning on a school night.
Who is this? Your dad?
Yeah. So when you hear that, you don't really you're out permanently.
Yeah.
You're like, I'll never listen to this. Anyway, had you heard everything is wrong prior to this? Okay,
No,
but you were aware of Interpol. What did you think?
Yeah.
So what's your take on it? Like, what'd you get out of it?
I mean, it was, again, like I said, I'm not a big lyric guy.
Yeah.
You know what sucks? I mean, we're not going to, because I was like, don't you have like fair use to play a song for 10
We're paying
seconds
30
or less?
seconds. We're doing 30 seconds.
Oh, you are doing it?
We are doing 30 seconds now. And then we're getting like copyright. We're not getting copyright striked. We're getting copyright notices.
Even I thought you get
30 seconds. No. So like basically
what about 10? Is there a time?
There's no limit. So basically the YouTube algorithm is giving us notifications that say, hey, we know that you're using this. And so like Depeche Mode, we had a Depeche Mode song like a couple weeks ago, and it's like, we're not going to play your video in Russia or Belarus, which, I'm sorry. That's okay. I can live with that.
Yeah, man.
But for the most part, it's like, you're doing okay. But if you start making, like, we get to the point where like we have enough followers and enough like people, then they can start placing ads in front of the video,
mid-rolls and all that stuff.
Yeah, so they can start getting their money out of it.
So it's just on the YouTube side.
Correct. Spotify hasn't sent us nothing. No one else has said. We host on Spotify. We post on YouTube. No one on Spotify's side has said one word to us. But YouTube has been like, you're again, not strike. We're not. We have a clean record.
Yeah.
But just understand that we know what you're doing. And if you ever start making money on this channel, we're probably going to get a cut.
Isn't it amazing how fast they can catch? I mean how
many
videos are uploaded a day?
It's on the upload. I mean, well, that's just
like,
server size, really. That's just server farms.
Oh, is that all it is?
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, off air, I could explain to you how it works. Like, I genuinely understand how it works.
Okay, gotcha.
But basically, you just have you're just waiting for people to upload things, and you just have enough servers to handle all of that information.
Because we did like 15 years ago, a comic and I started a podcast, and we did it for like a year and a half.
Yeah.
And our intro music was an honest mistake by the Bravery.
Yeah.
And it was and this wasn't even on YouTube. This was just like on Libsyn, and like after the 6th week,
they were like,
it was like, I think they got a hold of Steve, my buddy, and they're like, this is gone long enough. I mean, I think they were like threatening like legal action.
No,
like,
absolutely. Cease and desist.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was like 30 seconds.
Right.
And, but
we have fair use. So our intro song and our exit song are fair use songs. Like a guy made music and he's like, go ahead and use it wherever you want. And then that's what we use for that, to cover that. But in terms of song, we're playing like 30 seconds and we're giving it a go. But we're going to end up like, the Verve. We're gonna get hit.
I know, man.
We're not gonna.
They got to rely on that U-Haul money, man.
Well, it's the Patreon thing,
I played it today, man.
Yeah.
No, these guys are good. In fact, I want to. We'll stay on this song, of course.
Yeah.
But there was actually another song because I was looking at Are you a Spotify user? Yeah.
Do you know the name of the song?
This other one by, I'm gonna find it in 2 seconds here.
Okay.
Interpol. I was just playing it. I would listen. It was like on a shuffle mix when I was home last week.
Right. And
I was just taking a walk, and then this song called No, that's what we just got. Sorry. Sorry. This is gonna drive me nuts. I want to see if you know the song.
I guarantee you, I know
it. Come on, man. Take You on a Cruise.
That is literally my favorite Interpol song of all time.
No way. So get this.
My fiance and I were literally talking about this last night. She was like, "What is the song?" And I was like, "It's Take You on a Cruise."
So good.
Oh, it's great.
Now, funny thing about the song, the reason I really got into it is because there's a song by REM called Ebo the Letter.
Yeah. And they use an Ebo.
They do.
Yeah.
So then I was like Googling songs with Ebo. And there was a bunch of Radiohead.
Yeah.
And then that one.
Yeah.
By
Interpol.
Which was just funny because coincidentally I heard it. And I'm like, wait, I just heard that. And I went back and I'm like, oh, that must be that's
the Ebo.
The Ebo. And I guess it makes some sort of like
makes it like a string. Yeah,
string. Yeah.
You can see him so he'll get it out. The story. Okay, so let me give you the story on that. That's there was a magazine that gave Interpol $500 and they said go to an instrument store, buy whatever you want, but you got to use it in a song. And they bought an EBow, and they've used it on a couple songs since, but that's what they use it on. I love that song so much. How cool is that,
man? See, we're making connections.
We are making connections.
This is
here.
big. I just found your favorite song, which might be my favorite song.
Oh, great.
That maybe we call an audible and we just drop Everything Is Wrong and go to the cruise song. All that work you did, we just got to piss it away and let's just go to the cruise song.
We could.
This was good. This was good. I mean, again, I listened to it musically.
Yeah. Were there any lyrics that stood out for you or anything besides that Everything Is Wrong? Him just saying it repeatedly?
I mean, as I look at it,
truly wrong.
Man, and people hate that I say this.
No, it's fine.
Not hate, but I mean, I kind of like the end here. We made our home without begging your pardon. We made our home with time alone.
Right.
It's taking apart the best of us, and nobody likes to wait everyone's wrong. It's really wrong. That's kind of cool, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of like who knows what's going on. It's more of like a relationship song than anything else.
Okay.
But, it's like we made our home without begging your pardon. We didn't ask anybody. We're just going to do what we do, and we make our time, we make our home with time alone. When we're together, that's when we, and it's taking the part the best of us, and nobody wants to wait, and everything is wrong.
Now, is this more? How many albums do these guys have?
Geez. It's 7. No, it's 7. They're working on 8 now, and they've done one EP.
And where are they from?
They are from New York.
Okay, they're in New York. Man.
Yeah. They came up the same time as the Strokes and the Yes. There's a movie called.
All right. Yeah,
there's a book called Meet Me in the Bathroom, which kind of covers that time. LCD Sound System, and all those bands. Great book. There's a documentary based on it. It's like an hour and a half. Kind of condenses it down, but does cover Interpol in there. But yeah, they 7. This is so their bass player had left before the concert that you saw.
Okay.
And the album was called Interpol. So the album where their bass player left, they called it Interpol, which I think is hilarious. The album cover is like the logo blowing up.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So,
right. Yeah.
So they had to go on tour with the other one. This is the first. They didn't know if they were ever going to do like another album. So this is album number 5. This is on El Pintor, which is an anagram for Interpol. Like I said, I know a lot, but just too much. But they didn't know if they were going to be back as a band, and so they started.
Why the bass player? Was it contentious?
It's a whole mess. And, but basically, he was out. He's like, I'm done. I don't want to play bass anymore. I don't want to. You guys should all break up. You should all leave and stop being a band. And I'm out. And they were like, okay, whatever. Well, we're going on tour. And he didn't want to tour anymore, any of that. And then they came back after like a couple years, and they're like, let's see what we got. And the lead singer, Paul Banks, plays guitar. Daniel Kessler plays guitar. They were in the studio together, and he's like, they were working on things. And Paul was like, "Hey, tomorrow I'll bring a bass, and we'll just see where it goes." They brought a bass, and then they were back, and so they're a 3-piece now. Like I said, they put out. They're working on their 8th album now. I've seen them close to 10 times already. I saw them last summer in Third Man Records. They did like an intimate show that they recorded. Just nice. I just love it. But yeah, so. A couple of things about the lyrics I do want to touch on. I rue the day. You never get to say rue enough, like you just
right,
rue,
man.
like
you don't.
It's just a great choice. We're again that taking apart the best of us. We're taking apart both of us. He says the best of us is the second time, but the first time he says I take apart. We taking apart of both of us. And that's like so important that we don't recognize when we get in relationships sometimes. It's like we don't realize it's like you've got to give something up, personality wise. You've got to contribute, and then you've got to get something back. A lot of that. And then again, Take You on a Cruise has a lot of those same ideas and concepts, which you could we'll come back, we'll do it, and then we'll just spend an hour talking about Take You on a Cruise.
I was really impressed.
Did you watch the video? I had mentioned that, but did you happen a chance to take it?
I did not get to watch the video, man.
So again, talking about this parallel thought, the video is them in like New York City, just going through like, one of the band members is just having an awful day, but another one is like just big timing everybody. Paul Banks, the lead singer, like he's got like a guy walking with him, like a bodyguard, and somebody like comes up and is like, hey, aren't you this? And his bodyguard's like stiff an arm him, like that kind of thing. But it's outside. and kind of like a similar vibe with the Bittersweet Symphony. But yeah, I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad you found a few more Interpol songs as a result.
Legitimately, man. And that's just one I got to sit down and just do. Just start playing out. See, the problem with it's like the Spotify stuff. It's like I don't know. It's as evil as it is great because you have everything. Makes me too selfish to then just make. I'll just do playlists and put 2,000 songs in and then just throw another one in and kind of listen to the same couple thousand, which is a ton of music, but still it's like I did that discipline I used to have with the BMG and Columbia House of here it is. For me, I was CD guy. That was my time. And
okay, well let me ask
you. Go.
Well, let me ask you this: when you find like a new artist, do you go down the rabbit hole of that artist particularly? Do you still do that?
I do. I don't. I go more on what the Spotify.
See, I don't do that. I don't let them do anything.
Yeah, I
don't let them have any control over what I listen to.
They control me.
No,
Spotify
controls me. Like smart playlist disabled. Yeah. Recommendations continue going. Nope. None of it. No,
nope.
I listen to exactly what I want to.
I'm chipped, man.
If somebody gives me a suggestion or a song, I'll go down a rabbit hole of an artist, and then I'll listen to their music, and then I'll take I like this, and then I go back. But yeah, no, I'm very I don't want your recommendations.
Yeah.
Which I probably should, but
so you'll take an album or you'll take an artist and just start their first album? Is that what you're saying?
So usually I will use the Spotify on most listened to normally.
Yeah,
and then maybe I'll go in by album.
And then you might go in. Yeah. I mean, I guess I'd say
if you're like first 7 songs, like if I'm out by song 3, there's nothing to listen to. If these are your most famous songs,
man. Yeah.
And I can't. I'm not in by song 4. Then what am I doing here?
Yeah, you're right. Because they usually trying to front load it, right?
Well, ideally. I mean, it's by number of listens. So whatever those top ones are. Is,
oh yeah. I see what you're saying on the Spotify. Yeah,
so if if I don't like what your fans like, I'm probably not going to like the rest of this. Yeah, but then you're missing out on some hidden gem. But that's okay.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty rare for me. Usually, I'm with you if it's on the top 5. But I will say, I mean, at the same time, it's because a part of me feels like there's some guilt about man, you do stand up, which is, you're in whatever arts shit where it's I say that because it's you don't
feel like an artist.
Well, no, I'm just saying the fact that I'm paying $10 a month and then I can just
listen to the entirety
I guess the flip side is that I have seen a lot more live music.
Yeah.
And
I love
bought
going to
merch
concerts.
because I found something on Spotify.
Well, that's fair.
I mean, I got this guilty pleasure with electronic music,
Yeah.
this indie new wave stuff.
Right.
And this guy, I don't even know if it's a band. His thing,
It's a guy.
It's a
It's
guy.
one guy.
Well, I say that because it's called Washed Out.
Yeah, but it's a guy.
But it's just a dude. Yeah,
it's like
But
Nine
he's
Inch Nails. You still call him Nine Inch Nails, but it's Trent Reznor.
But it's just Trent Reznor. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
And
Or Tame Impala is just one guy.
Oh yeah, okay, right.
So,
Yeah,
there's
same thing.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
I mean, my point. I'd heard some song like on a Smart Shuffle.
Yeah,
liked it, followed them, kept listening, liked more. They came down to Delmar Hall in the Loop.
I love Delmar
Went
Hall.
in August, saw them, great time.
Yeah,
got a shirt, got tickets. So I'm trying to
bounce. You're
not
giving
feel
back.
so at least support. Interpol. I got into them through you too.
Yeah,
I think I knew the 1 or 2 songs. Slow Hands.
Yeah,
and
Evil. I'm sure you knew Evil.
Evil. Yeah. There was 2 I knew, and that was it.
Maybe Obstacle 1. Maybe NYC.
Yeah, there was not many. I mean, I knew maybe,
right.
and then I was like, all right, I'm in, and I started. And then I think they had an album a few years ago, and the song Fables.
Yeah, that just came out. That was their last album.
That just came out. Yeah. That's pretty new, right?
Yeah, on the other side of Make Believe.
There was something about that I really liked that song.
It's the big bass. It's
It's
a throwback to the 80s big bass rap songs, almost like Kings of Rock. Nothing like it, but the thumping just drums.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love that song.
God, it's such a bitch. We can't play music on this thing. It would make it. I mean, you just can't. There's nothing you can do. But man, I wish we could. But yeah,
I start making money, then I'll pay for the ASCAP. I genuinely would. Yeah, thank you so much for coming on. I know you're pressed for time, so we gotta.
That was good though. Man.
Yeah,
okay.
do we have stickers?
So, look at this guy. Look at this.
You don't have to sell it that hard. It's okay. But
no, I'm going to sell it.
The Skunk Domestication Farm of Ohio. They're one of our sponsors, and people are very interested in getting merch. For the Skunk Domestication Farm.
Normally these are $20, but if you get on this episode, $5.
Yeah. Anyway,
pretty
reach out
sweet
if you want
deal.
a sticker. You can take these home with you. You can definitely take
buddy.
the show sticker.
We'll put them on the Funny Bone Club.
Please
for you,
do.
man.
Yeah. Well, I'll come out and we'll
Showcase
get
you.
some. Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, you got it, man.
You're going to
Appreciate
look
talking
here. You're going to pimp your stuff. So this is the hard sell.
Oh gosh, what's
how
my
do
stuff?
How do we find you online?
I mean, I'm Instagram heavy.
What's the handle?
That's Sean O'Brien.
Okay.
Oh boy, let me check, man. That's
All
how
right.
little I use social media because Twitter or whatever
and then
is a different one.
and you have the shirt as well. So what is the
I got
podcast?
the salmon shirt. But the podcast is the consumers.
And how often are you releasing episodes?
Once every Tuesday.
Once every Tuesday. So you're like
at
me.
that Sean O'Brien. That's 99% of where.
Okay, at that Sean O'Brien.
That there's too many Sean O'Briens, man.
Oh,
I got to the party late.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the Sean O'Brien gone. This Sean O'Brien. This.
Yeah.
Or that'd be Sean O'Brien 96248. And I was like,
so I'm at Jeffrey JEFFERY_Phipps. I went full name. I do have a handle. It's not hard to find, but that's what I go by for everywhere else. And I missed Instagram, and I'm like really bitter about it. And it's some black guy in Atlanta who has it. And then they used to have the Twitter Instagram integration, so I would get tagged on his posts on Twitter. On Twitter, it'd be like, no, I'm not. That's not me.
Yeah, wasn't there like in quick story? Like, I swear, this is right. Just, like some lady owned the Pelicans.com before the NBA.
Correct.
And
then
I want to say they gave this person money.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like,
if you own those
just
domains, it's like it's such a
insane.
smart move.
Yeah, you just own it to own it.
Trump for president, you know. You just register a bunch of them, and
I mean, it's yours. I mean, it's like
it's your domain.
Your domain, yeah.
It's all my domain. Thank you so much for coming on, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, buddy. Thanks.
We're
Jeff.
on
Cool,
Spotify.
Dude.
We're on YouTube, obviously, if you're watching that way. We have stickers. Hit me up if you want merch. I'd be happy to send you anywhere in the continental United States, Canada, wherever. I'd send it to you. Thank you so much, Sean O'Brien. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thanks, buddy.
And have a great rest of your day. And we always close out with this. Tell your friends and tell your pets.
I never in my lifetime did I think I'd own an Uncrustables ball washer. I'm cranky.
You ever heard of what do they call it? Hobosexual swag. And thank you.